Welcome back everybody to day 3 of Oz Week, and this is the card that I'm going to be creating today. So I'm doing a Distress Oxide background, and the first thing that I want to do is make sure that I'm leaving enough space between the sky and the ground so that the Emerald City can sit in the background. So I'm using the mini cloud stencil from My Favorite Things, and I'm using the Distress Oxide in Broken China, and I'm just rotating the cloud stencil so that the clouds are different patterns and shapes, just like they would be in the sky. I absolutely love this stencil. I don't have a ton of stencils, but this is a must-have if you like creating scene cards. So now that I have the clouds laid out, I am going to go over and blend with the residue that's on my blending tool, just so that I can blend it out a little and the clouds aren't as stark white. They have a light blue tone to them. So I'm just going to move my post-it tape here, and we're going to create a yellow brick road. So I did use this English brick stencil from My Favorite Things in the first card on day 1, and I will leave the links in the description box for day 1 and day 2 if you missed those videos. But I'm making a much smaller yellow brick road for this particular scene card. So again, using fossilized amber wild honey, laid one grounding layer, that's the word I was looking for, of ink, and then took the stencil off and blended it out so you couldn't see the white. Then I laid the stencil back down onto the card, lined up the bricks, and did another layer. So now I'm going to work on the ground, and again, just like in card number 1, I am going to use some Distress Oxides. This is the Twisted Citron. I'm going to bring in the peeled paint. So I'm just going to layer those up until I get the desired color that I want. And I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock for this because the majority of the background is blending with Distress Oxides. So now I'm bringing in the Lucky Clover just to give that emerald color, so that it matches the Emerald City that will be in the background of this scene. So now I'm just going to switch over to the other side here, doing the same color palette that I did for the other side, obviously, so it matches. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are new to my channel, thanks for joining me. And please don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch all of my card videos. And for those of you who've been around for a while, thank you so much for your loyalty and your kind comments and always coming back to see what I'm sharing. So now I just wanted to line the yellow brick road, so I'm using my Memento black marker here. I didn't quite get it as dark as I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to go over that twice. And the reason for this was just because there's a black outline on all the images, so I wanted it to match. So I simply cut that out with a stitched rectangle die from Lawn Fawn, one of my favorites. You guys see them a lot, but I just love the stitch detailing that they give. So I wanted to use this sentiment in the stamp set. It says, "Oh my," but I didn't have a speech bubble where the little tail was facing the right way. So I just made my own. I simply drew one with a pencil, and then I just freehand cut it. I'm going to erase the pencil mark. It's not perfect, but it's fine. I was actually pretty proud of myself that I got it to look as speech bubble-esque as it does. So I'm just going to clean up my mat here, and then I'm trying to figure out where I want to position the Emerald City. So I do have it popped up on some foam adhesive. Same with little Dorothy, who is getting near to the Emerald City. And this is kind of a scene where she has to go through the poppy fields, and there is a poppy stamp in the stamp set, which I've colored up using my reds. So I just used R20, R39, R29, and R24. I'm just going to adhere those right down onto the card panel with my Nuvo Deluxe liquid adhesive glue, which is definitely my glue of choice. Nowadays, I absolutely love it. It pretty much adheres anything you want to adhere down to a card. And once it's dry, it does not move. So I'm going to use some lime green stickles, and I'm going to just lay that out on the image. I colored the Emerald City with one green marker because I knew that I was going to put the stickles over it, so I didn't want to spend too much time coloring it, but I did want some green obviously in the background because the stickles, I didn't want it to cover it completely. So I'm just using my finger here to move around all that glitter glue, and then once it dried a bit, after I was finished filming the video, I did go back and just kind of do touch-ups where I wanted it to be a little bit more glittery than it was. So I'm just using my pick tool here to get in between the white space, and it works perfectly. I used my candy cane stickles for her shoes, and then I'm just using a little bit of glossy accents in the middle of the poppies. And that's the card for day 3. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.